back to Identical Opposites. Today is Thursday, February 11th. And Timothy, I want to kind of wrap up the Super Bowl talk. I felt like we talked a lot about Brady's legacy. We didn't tackle Mahomes' legacy. If you're watching First Take a lot, which I think we both do, I don't really watch First Take a lot, but we watch a lot of Stephen A. content because it's the top tier content you can find.
I watch a mixture of all of them, but that's the one I listen to the most just because of Stephen A.
And it's just like anticipation of a meme.
Yeah, like he's gonna do something fucking hilarious.
Blasphemous.
He's gonna say blasphemous or asinine.
Or do something blasphemous.
Or asinine.
Or asinine, assa 10, assa 11, assa 12. All the asses. But when if you've been watching First Take and all that, I feel like a lot of people are talking about whether Mahomes can still be the GOAT after that. I think it's so stupid.
It is stupid
to write him off after his third year. He's already made 2 Super Bowls
and been the MVP.
But the only thing I can see people arguing is they're saying Brady's the GOAT right now, which I think is kind of unanimous at this point.
Yeah.
It's like if Jordan and LeBron played in the finals and say Jordan beat LeBron, then how are you going to argue? And then LeBron wins more finals down the road. But how are you going to argue LeBron's better than...
Imagine, if we said LeBron couldn't be the GOAT after he lost to the Spurs when he carried that team early in his career to the finals in 2007.
But I'm saying, imagine if instead of the Spurs,
he lost to Jordan.
He lost to Jordan, and he got his ass whooped.
It's just...
That's the only argument you see, but I don't agree that he can't be the GOAT.
It's stupid because he can go and win 10 Super Bowls in a row, and then he can't be the GOAT anymore because he lost that one Super Bowl. And get the fuck out of here.
Did you notice that nobody besides us, I want to quote the pod, that was talking about the offensive line, 3 of them not being in there?
Before the game, I heard them talking about it a bit, but nobody was talking that big about
it. That's what I'm saying. Me and you picked the Bucs. I was going to pick the Bucs regardless, but you picked the Bucs because of that. And if I'm being honest, now that the ring is on our fingers, if they had all 5 linemen, I don't know how confident I would have been in that pick.
I would not have picked the Bucs if they had one of their tackles. If they had one of them, I would have picked the Chiefs. I don't know if that would have made a difference the way the teams played on Sunday, because the Bucs looked way more ready than the Chiefs in that game. Other than Mahomes, Mahomes was he looked lights out with shitty stats and no help. He was making incredible throws, bro.
Bro, he literally made one where he was fucking parallel to the ground and he hit Tyreek Hill's face mask.
I know exactly. That was early fourth quarter, late third?
It was like one of their last drives.
You see the clips on Twitter, from the Bucs, I think, or the NFL? It was Chris Godwin. He was talking how the fuck did he do that? How did he do that? Mm-hmm. And they're calling him a magician on the sideline during the game. You could see how good he is even though, if you look just the box score, you'd be he played like shit. No, he didn't.
Dude, when the game was 31-9 in the fourth quarter, I still didn't feel secure.
When he was making throws falling over that were on point with fucking velocity, I was this isn't over, even though it's over.
No play fell over. Not even after the whistle was over. After the whistle blew, it was an incomplete pass. I was like, can he do something with that?
Could he do something? Is the play's definitely not over, right?
Oh, breaking news. Tom Brady's going to go under minor knee surgery in the offseason.
Well, is any surgery when you're 43 going on 44 minor? Couldn't he die from any surgery at that age?
He's at high. Does he qualify for high risk COVID yet? I know. I would imagine Bruce Arians does.
Yeah, Bruce Arians does. He's probably obese and old.
I was telling you during the Super Bowl, Bruce was looking tan and looking nice.
His face
and he usually
red.
looks red and bloated.
He looked bloated. No,
he looked tan and in good health during the Super Bowl. All that went away on the parade. I remember there's a picture of him sitting crisscross applesauce on the boat, holding up a Bud Light in the air, and he is so red and his neck is or his chin is fighting to squeeze out of the collar of his shirt.
He's just that bloated.
It all happened so fast for Bruce.
Well, doesn't he drink on the reg? So I
think he always talks about how he gets whiskey at the end of the night.
He gets whiskey at the end of every night.
I think he's a whiskey and cigar guy. If I had to guess,
who the fuck can drink whiskey every night?
I'm not saying every night.
Disgusting.
You're not getting blitzed off of it. You just take a couple fingers and
a couple fingers.
Wasn't that what they do? They put fingers on
the fingers on the glass. They also do that to measure shit. But if you're an alcoholic or you drink alcohol, you do that too. But back on the legacy thing, I don't think this game affects his legacy. I hate when people are like, greats lose one game and people act like it's the fucking end of the world for them. Like,
Dude,
oh my god.
He was literally they're talking about how like this guy can't be a GOAT anymore, and he was literally confirmed like already top 10 quarterback all time in his second year.
Yeah, like we all know how good he is and how great he is. The fact that it's just people looking for stupid storylines or to bring him down because they don't like their quarterback or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because like he's just so good. Like
it's not even about not liking your quarterback. It's just like, why can't I have Mahomes?
Yeah, like that's what they can't have him, so nobody else can have.
I wouldn't want him just because of Jackson Mahomes, but
you wouldn't Jackson Mahomes because his TikToks.
It's not so much the TikToks; it's just his TikToks are cringy. I mean,
yeah, they are, but
and he's not even that good of a dancer, like compared to the other TikTok dancers.
Well, I don't know. I don't watch TikTok dancing videos.
Neither do I, but I've seen them. They've come across my eyeballs a couple times.
How can you have not watched them, but you've seen them?
I'm not going out seeking TikTok dances.
Where else do you find TikTok dances?
Twitter.
Oh yeah, that's true. People post the most random weird
Everything's
shit
on Twitter. Beheadings.
Jeez, anything
memes,
from beheadings to TikTok dance videos.
The president getting banned. It's all there.
The end of the free world. that day felt like it was the end of the world. When all that Washington shit and his Twitter getting banned and all that.
It just felt like, what the fuck? Let's not get into that.
Yeah. Back to
but
end of the world with Mahomes for some people. It's so stupid to me, dude.
And he was playing hurt. He had only 2 of his offensive linemen starting still there.
He was not the reason they lost. That was obvious if you watch the game. Like you can tell somebody watched the game or not if they say Mahomes played bad. Because
he did miss throws that he
missed
makes.
Couple throws, but he was the only reason that we ever gave him a chance throughout the game.
Tyreek Hill did not have a great game.
No, he didn't have a good game. Kelsey was really good.
Dude, one of the times late in the game when the defense was celebrating the Bucks, they were like in the end zone doing some celebration, the whole defense. And Tyreek Hill, like every other Chief was walking to the sideline. You see Tyreek Hill, he's like walking up close, following them. He looks like he's going to say something to somebody, and he just turns around last second.
Because he probably saw all those people there. Like, he probably wanted to talk to one person, like fucking Carlton Davis.
I knew about the Antoine Winfield. Everyone knew about the Deuces, but I didn't realize how vicious we were. If you see, like, the mic'd ups and all that, there's so much, like, shit talking and gloating by the Bucks. And, like, in that same celebration I'm talking about Tyreek Hill, after Tyreek Hill walks away, Shaq Barrett leaves the celebration. He's like waving goodbye to all whole Chiefs and all that.
For real?
Yeah.
Like I knew the Bucks like were gonna be like, I don't want to say salty. What do you call it when you're trying to get back at somebody?
I don't know, but
they wanted vengeance. You could tell because the way that the Chiefs were just fucking playing with them when it was the second quarter. We were scorned. Yeah, you guys were pissed after that game, and I didn't realize how close that game got. At the end.
I'll be honest, it wasn't a close 27-24.
Let's say it was a 3-point win. I didn't even remember it being that close. I just thought it was like 38-21 at the end.
That game is like Skip Bayless swears in the second quarter of that game is when the Bucks turned it around. I don't think so because the Vikings game after the bye was...
We weren't that great in that game either.
We probably should have lost.
Yeah, it was because it was the Vikings. That was the only reason you didn't lose.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean... Since that Vikings game, it's been you guys were the best team with the Chiefs, and it wasn't even close between it. I mean, the Packers, but
yeah, the Packers, the Saints.
I can't believe I fell for the Packers shit again. I
literally told you that every year they make it to the NFC Championship. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, Aaron Rodgers had such a great year." They always make the NFC Championship when he wins MVP, and they always lose.
It's them and the Cowboys. The Cowboys are like the regular season team that burns me because every year before the season, I'm like, dude, they're so talented. They're going to be the NFC Championship, make the Super Bowl. And I just get burned. I'm fucking charred on the skin from the fucking Packers and Cowboys.
You're just too football gullible.
I am gullible when it comes to the Cowboys and the Packers.
Remember the Jaguars from like 2015 or like 2013 to like 2017? They were spending money every offseason.
I always believed
every year we would talk and you'd be like, I think this is where the Jaguars. And I told you every year, like, fuck that.
It worked one year.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Hey, they did it.
And the year you finally gave up on them was the year they made the AFC Championship.
I remember I was watching that Bucks Jags preseason game where it was Blake Bortles and he played like absolute shit, bro. And I remember that was the day I gave up on the Jags and Blake Bortles And then they fucking go to the AFC Championship and have the best defense in the fucking NFL that season. I remember I was so mad at myself. I was like, I finally gave up, and I get fucked. It's fucking Jags, bro. Like, they're the team that you just... Like, what are the Jags? What do they do? Do they play football? Because it seems like they're trash, like, all the time, and then they just 1 year will surprise us and go back to trash.
They were pretty good when they first started. Didn't they make like a few, like the playoffs almost every year in the first 5 years?
Yeah, they did. But now they make the playoffs once every, like, 15 years, I guess.
They're respectable once every 5 years.
Once every 5 years, they'll give a respectable...
Maybe not playoffs, but respectable.
Yeah, they'll go, like, 7-9 and be competitive.
They'll be those frisky 6-10 teams. Like, and you walk away, like, maybe next year, that's...
That's what I was kind of like with the Jets this year. But once I saw, like, C.J. Mosley and all those guys were not opted out... And I just, like, I thought about, like, Adam Gase. I was like,
I think the Jets, it was just C.J. Mosley. But he's literally all those guys for the Jets.
Yeah. Like, him and Jamal Adams, before he got traded, it made me think the Jets might be something. I was like, oh, they were good with Darnold, and then they got C.J. and Jamal Adams on defense, and Quinnen Williams.
Maybe they'll actually use Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I know. They did, but what the
I forgot that guy was even on the Chiefs.
Like, I know, dude. I thought about that. I was like, he's on the Chiefs. Where, like, they talked about him for, like, half a second during the first quarter. And I was like, wait, he's still on the fucking Chiefs?
Did he have any playing time, really?
He played that first game because it was against the Jets. But did he play ever since then? Because he got, like...
Super Bowl. I don't even think... I know he played when Clyde got hurt for a little bit. He got some. But, like, even then, he was splitting with, like, Darrell Williams. It's not even playoff Damien. It was fucking Darrell Williams.
It's crazy. He was one of the highest paid running backs in the beginning of the year. Just by the end of the year, he was not even really playing. Like, how does that happen? And, like, from 2 years ago or 3 years ago, he was one of the best running backs. He's never got a huge injury. He hasn't had a ton of wear and tear since then. What the fuck happened to him?
You know what was the big tragedy we didn't get to see during the Super Bowl?
Who?
Was, you know, we had playoff Lenny this year, and we had playoff Damien last year.
Yeah.
The playoff Damien opted out this year because of COVID.
Yeah.
We would have never known who was the bigger playoff running back, playoff Damien or playoff Lenny.
Well, playoff P or pandemic P.
Why is he in this conversation?
Because it's playoff names.
Yeah, but these guys show up.
It's crazy. The person that's probably the best player in their sport consistently is the worst in the playoffs of those three guys. Paul George he absolutely shit himself last year. He shit himself multiple times with the Pacers. He is not playoff P, but
forever pandemic P.
Yeah, forever pandemic P.
I call him George Paul,
or playoff PP, or playoff poo poo, whatever you want to call him.
Just shit.
But to get back onto the main topic of this discussion, anybody that says Mahomes can't be the GOAT anymore or his legacy's tarnished forever is fucking dumb. One game is not going to define his legacy. He's had so many great games, had a great Super Bowl. He came back in the Super Bowl a year ago against an arguably even better defense. But
Jimmy G did his best to hand him the game.
In the fourth quarter, oh my God.
He was so bad.
He missed so many open throws downfield. I will never forget that one was a Deebo Samuel with like 5 minutes left. He just overthrew. He was wide open for a 50-yard touchdown on a post route. I will never forget that, dude. Like, how do you miss that in that game, bro?
The one thing I'll give about Patrick Mahomes that people are kind of giving him shit for is in both Super Bowls he's played in, he's had very subpar performances for his standard.
In the first, like, half?
No, in total, the Super Bowls. The fourth quarter, he was good, but
I'm talking about against the 49ers.
He had 2 picks, and he threw one. It was what was his final? It was 20-10. Late in the third quarter, early fourth quarter, and he threw a pick, and I was like, "Oh, that's gonna seal the game."
Yeah, but
he had 2. I know he had 2 picks last year.
That comeback he led though kind of trumps whatever he did before, because Tom Brady played like shit against the Falcons for 3 quarters, and then he led a comeback. But people talk about how that's one of the best performances in the history of the fucking Super Bowl. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that?
No, you're not wrong. But
it's the same thing. I don't know if the Niners.
Okay.
Against the best defense in the league by far.
But Brady, I would say that's Brady's only subpar Super Bowl. And then
what about the
Mahomes
Giants
is 2
ones?
for 2.
The Giants ones he wasn't that great in.
It wasn't bad.
He wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I mean, he didn't look like Tom Brady in those games. Like, yeah, Mahomes didn't look great this Sunday, but it was obvious it wasn't him. He didn't have his best game, but he didn't play bad or mediocre. Like, you could tell if he had any time or anybody that was getting open, he would have had some big plays down the field. For fuck's sake, we were talking about the throw. He was falling on his face, running for his life, and he nearly fucking threw a touchdown.
I mean, no, he's a beast. But we always talk about Dan Marino. I swear he's like the best thrower of the ball they've ever seen. All these boomers.
It's the same thing with Mahomes.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same
Marino.
thing, but Mahomes already won it. But we're talking GOAT. We're not talking if he's like a top 5 guy.
Well, it was 1 year, 1 game.
I still think he can be GOAT. I'm just saying I can see some of the arguments. I think it's stupid to rule it out after 3 years, and he's already made 2 Super Bowls and got a MVP and a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, I know. And he's by far the best quarterback in the NFL.
Or does he have 2 MVPs?
No, he's 1 MVP because it was him, then Lamar, and then Aaron Rodgers this year.
Yeah, it's just usually quarterbacks win it. I just forgot Lamar because he's a running back.
Shut the fuck up! Oh my god, bro.
You know I'm bullshitting. I swore up and down I would have took Lamar first overall in that draft.
The Lamar slander gets to me so bad, bro. Like, even when I know you're joking, because that's what people say, bro. They think the passing, like, why our passing offense sucks is because of him. No, when we throw it, he's very efficient with it. But we don't throw it nearly enough, and we have no fucking receivers to throw it to.
Here's the thing. I think there is still... I understand some of the questions out on Lamar, because there is games where he plays good defenses. And
he struggles.
And he struggles, especially... And then you got to admit, like, his numbers passing are good, but you got to remember his legs open up so many passing lanes because they're always worried about him running.
It's not his problem.
I'm not saying it's his problem.
It's total package.
But we're talking just arm talent. If you watch him, you're not saying like, oh, he's got a
good arm. He's strong.
I think it's a strong arm. But if you're talking about overall thrower of the ball, I'm not saying he's in the top 12.
And we're going to talk about accuracy. He's thrown like 800 passes plus the last 2 seasons, and he's completed over 65% of his throws. Like, he's not inaccurate like people want to say.
I'm not saying he's inaccurate.
He's actually pretty accurate if you look at that.
But I do think his windows to throw are maybe a little more open than most.
I don't know. I watch every Ravens game, playoffs, regular season, the last fucking 15 years. No, because I wasn't able to watch it when we were younger. The last like 8 years, I've been able to watch every Ravens game, and he doesn't get a lot big windows to throw to. One thing I will say about Lamar is that he regressed from the year previous, his MVP season, was his deep ball throwing. He didn't connect on many deep balls this year. He missed a lot. But from 20 yards in, he was very accurate. I don't know how the fuck we're talking about Lamar.
I feel like he had more deep balls in that week 1 game versus Miami last year than all of this year.
He had like fucking 3.
I remember that week 1 game against the Dolphins where he was like going like 50-7 or something like that. And I just remember every 2 seconds, every time I'd switch to red zone, you'd just see Hollywood running up the field with the ball.
Bro, I remember I was like, Hollywood coming up to you, bro. Like, I was just so happy. I was like, oh my God, we got a good receiver. And then 2 years later, he hasn't progressed worth anything. He's still the same guy. Which, I mean, he's a pretty good receiver. He's a pretty good 2, I think. But we need a fucking number 1. I saw a trade package because Orlando Brown's going to get... he wants to be traded so he can be a left tackle. It was Mike Williams and like their first rounder and like a third rounder for Orlando Brown. I do that in a heartbeat.
I would do that in a heartbeat. Mike Williams is underrated.
We need a big body guy that can go up and get the ball. But this is a talk about Mahomes and not Lamar. That'll be another day.
I forgot we were talking about Mahomes.
I don't even know how the fuck we started talking about Lamar.
Oh, we're talking about MVPs, and I couldn't remember because running back winning it.
But shut the fuck up. Anyway. See, there again, like, I get this visceral reaction whenever I hear shit talking about Lamar.
I was going to say, who hurt you? But it seems like everyone.
Everybody does. When Dan Orlovsky went on ESPN and said he'd rather have Sam fucking Darnold over Lamar Jackson, that, like, just tweaked my brain.
Is it Dan Orlovsky?
Yeah.
That guy is the worst.
He is the worst. He sucks so much. He thinks he's, like, this edgy, cool guy that everybody loves to hate or loves him, but everybody just hates him. His takes...
I feel like he's the new Will Kane. Like he went to Fox, which was the most predictable move of all time. And then they were like, we needed another annoying white guy with stupid takes. And Dan Orlovsky came in. And they're like, we can disguise him as a subdued football, or not subdued, but like a old football player and knows what he's talking about.
He doesn't know what he's
Instead
talking
of
about.
babbling, you know what, Will
Dumbass.
Kane. Yeah, you said it, not me.
But for anybody that doesn't know who Will Kane is, he was that guy with the southern accent that was on First Take for years and would always come up with the stupid shit with the wavy fucking hair. He would always say the dumbest takes.
He was the guy that like CNN brings on, the dumb Republican to make their Democrats look good, or like when Fox brings on a dumb Democrat to make their correspondents look good. He was just the idiot they brought on to make Stephen A. Max like, oh, these guys really know what they got it all together on this show.
And of course, the super liberal fought him on everything. Like him and them two fought on everything. You had the super Republican versus super liberal with Will Kane versus Max Kellerman.
I thought it was always funny though, because like I feel like back in the day, Stephen A. and Max got a lot more contentious, and
They do still.
And Will Kane, when he was the guy that would bring all the forces together. Even Molly they would all be like triple teaming him, like, and they're all in their own licks.
They got rid of their own beefs just to focus on us. Like, we have to team up on him, bro. There's no way we can let him get away with this.
That's a poll question. Was Will Kane just First Take's whipping boy?
I think so. He was the worst, bro. Him and fucking Dan Orlovsky. But in short, I don't think last Sunday's Super Bowl affected Mahomes' legacy. Oh, no, no.